Hey everybody, it's Monday, it's 6 o'clock. That means it has to be AEW Weekly. We are No Bones About Wrestling. I'm your host, Asa, along with my permanent co host here, Kay Fabulous,
Hey,
and fashion guide to the stars as well.
wouldn't go that far.
I was trying to close this window. I don't know what I've
You
done now.
disappeared off of the screen.
God damn it. What do I need to do?
I don't know. You have an iPhone.
There it is. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. So tonight, obviously, the top thing we're going to talk about is the Forbidden Door pay-per-view last night. Um, it was a very good show. It was a damn good show, but just not quite as good as the last few pay-per-views. But to be fair, those were like all-time great pay-per-views, so they can't all be amazing.
It had to happen sometime.
Yeah, but it was a very good show. Nothing against the show. But we're going to talk about that a bit. We're going to have the fashion report. We're going to have the top fives later in the show. And
AEW News.
just a little bit of news updates.
It's a lot more.
And first, we are going to discuss, just real quick, we're going to go through the TV results from last week. And then we'll get to talking about Forbidden Door. And if you're watching, please feel free to comment as we go. We love talking to you, but just, the only rule is be nice. You can disagree with us. That's fine, as long as you're nice about it. If you're not nice, you'll get kicked out and banned. So, just be nice. So here we go. Dynamite was June 26th. I don't know how the fuck you've written this here.
How the fuck I've written what?
No,
well, so this was the match. There was no winner. Ref tossed it out, and then I rewatched the match when you asked me to figure out why the ref tossed it out.
Takagi and who?
Yeah. The first match on Dynamite was Moxley, Yuta, and Claudio versus Takagi, Los Ingobernables de Japan.
I think it was
Japan. Sorry, Japan. There was no winner in this match. As I mentioned, the ref tossed it out for the stupidest reason ever. So 6 men were in the ring, and when he was telling them to get out of the ring, they didn't. So basically, it was like every trios match you've ever seen, but this time the ref put a stop to it.
Yeah, called it a no contest.
Yeah, and Naito came out after the match was over, since he had the match with Moxley coming at Forbidden Door.
Next match on Dynamite, Switchblade Jay White defeated Rey Fenix. Good match. Would have been better if they'd given more time, but good match. That was a part of the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. Next, the awesome women's trios team of Toni Storm, Mina Shirakawa, and Mariah May. They defeated the Outcasts. That's the new Outcasts with the Saraya,
Anna Jay,
and
Harley Cameron.
Thank you, Harley Cameron.
I'll be playing the role of Asa's memory tonight.
Also on Dynamite, Zack Sabre Jr., one of the best technical wrestlers, if not the best in the world. He beat Kyle O'Reilly. Very good match. Very good match. And the main event of Dynamite saw Swerve Strickland team up with the international champion, Will Ospreay. Swerve, of course, the world champion. Okay. They teamed up and they beat the Gates of Agony. So, very good Dynamite. I thought didn't do an awesome job building to Forbidden Door, but did a good job building to Forbidden Door. It's tough, when you have so many people coming in from CMLL and New Japan and Stardom. It's really tough to establish their characters and their wrestling styles to the fans,
I think this episode did a really good job.
It did.
I mean, like, every match has something to do with Forbidden Door.
Yeah, I'm just saying there's not enough time to really get across who these people are.
Yeah. They should have done...
You can get an impression of them, but you can't really get who they are from one match, 2 matches in the pay-per-view lead up,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very good Dynamite. Like I said, good build to Forbidden Door. Rampage here. Queen Aminata, very popular, rising fast in the women's rank. She got what I would call an upset win over Sky Blue.
I think everyone would call that an upset win.
Yeah, Queen Aminata, very talented.
Awesome.
Also, Orange Cassidy won a handicap match against the Outrunners, who I don't believe have never won a match in AEW. I don't know.
That's
Not on Collision or Dynamite.
Yeah,
They haven't.
Yeah.
Takagi beat Dalton Castle. Oh, we got to go back and watch that. Takagi beat Dalton Castle.
Yeah, full disclosure, we have not watched Rampage yet.
Yeah, we didn't watch Rampage.
Busy week.
It's been a very busy week. Also, Gabe Kidd and Roderick Strong, they beat the Infantry. And there was a TNT title ladder match qualifier. El Fantasmo beat AR Fox. And who knows where AR Fox has been hiding. I think they sent him to the moon.
That was his punishment.
As his punishment, yeah.
It's worth noting that Gabe Kidd is the New Japan Strong Openweight Men's Champion.
Thank you. And real quick, like I said, we're going to get to it real quick and get to the pay-per-view. Collision, June 29th, 2024. We had Orange Cassidy team up with Ishii, and they defeated... I don't know what you've written here.
Oh, there were two jobbers. It says Shane Haste.
Shane Haste and Robbie Eagles.
Yes.
Stephanie Vaquer beat Lady Frost. Pretty good match.
Mm-hmm.
Stephanie Vaquer is awesome. I have not seen her before. She is fantastic.
Yeah, Tony Khan, just throw your money at her.
Yes.
Throw
it. She's awesome. Serena Deeb beat Kelly Madden. So we had a couple job matches, and we say it every week, and I try not to sound like a broken record. Why do they put all these jobber matches on Collision? You've only got 5 hours of TV per week. Put some matches out there, and you've got a roster of like 150 people. Give us some good matches.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Robbie Eagles. I don't want to see Kelly Madden. I don't want to see Shane Haste. You've got the best roster in the history of the world, I think, and you're giving us this. I don't like it.
It is worth noting that after the Serena Deeb Kelly Madden match, Riho came out and is going to be the next challenger to Serena Deeb. Do you call them a challenger when they're not actually challenging for something? Just
I think so,
bragging rights?
yeah.
Okay.
Hechicero beat Brad Blackwood. I don't know.
Yeah.
Blackwood, whoever that is. Daniel Garcia beat the Butcher. Good to see Daniel Garcia in some action.
And they're both from Buffalo.
Oh, thank you.
That took place in Buffalo, New York.
Mm-hmm. Battle of Buffalo.
Yeah, that's what they called it.
Former women's world champion Hikaru Shida. She beat Deonna Purrazzo. Was that part of the Owen Hart?
Yes.
That was an Owen Hart Foundation Cup first round match. And let's see, the main event for Collision, I believe, Jack Perry, Konosuke Takeshita, and El Fantasmo teamed up, and they defeated Mark Briscoe, the Ring of Honor World Champion, Dante Martin, and Leo Rush.
Mm-hmm. Takeshita got the pin on that one. I do not remember who he pinned, though.
So the best match on Collision was the 6-man main event, I believe. And on Dynamite, the match of the night was definitely Zack Sabre Jr. versus Kyle O'Reilly. So I'd say the best match on TV this week, not the pay-per-view, just TV, was Zack Sabre Jr. versus Kyle O'Reilly. Very cool match. Saw both of them breaking out several of the different styles that they've learned. Really just trying to challenge each other and bring a style to counter the style they're using. Very cool match. It was wrestling. It was wrestling like it should be. I love Zack Sabre Jr.
As do I.
All right. Do you want to do your fashion now before we get to the pay-per-view?
I can if you want me to, whatever.
Well, you do your fashion, yeah.
Okay.
So this is Kay Fabulous with her wrestling fashion do's and don'ts.
And this week is interesting because there actually are no don'ts. Because this week their shit looked good, so everything is a do.
Okay.
So
Do.
If you are proud of your heritage, do come to the ring in traditional Cameroonian and Samoan garb like the Gates of Agony did on Dynamite. It looked cool.
Do.
If you are a proud English lad, do sport a soccer jersey style shirt stating bruv like Will Ospreay.
And those are sold out in Shop AEW. Sold out.
Quick hey to Antonio.
Yeah, hey, Antonio.
Um,
Do.
If you rarely show up in AEW, do make sure that all eyes are on you by showing up in a furry coat covered in a variety of eyeballs of all different sizes and neon colors, as Takagi did in Forbidden Door.
Yeah, I want that jacket.
Yeah, it was really cool. And it looked so fuzzy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would kill a man for that
Oh
jacket.
my God.
Do.
If you are a stylin' profilin' EVP, do come to the ring in Reebok robes, matching your awesome pump up sneakers like the Young Bucks.
Mm-hmm. Do.
To prove you are truly timeless, do dress as one of the most timeless and iconic ladies in the world, the Statue of Liberty, as Toni Storm did, including the torch, at Forbidden Door.
Do.
And speaking of iconic women, no matter how you describe the look, do dress like more badass Maleficent than Disney could ever fathom, like Stephanie Vacour. Vacour? Vacour. Vaquer.
Vaquer.
Vaquer. Sorry about
I don't
that.
know.
Sorry. Vaquer. And that is the fashion do's of the week. There are no don'ts.
Okay, thank you. We appreciate it, as always. Letting us know what to wear in and near the squared circle. So, Antonio, hey, how's it going? Yeah, Mercedes looked very good. We're going to get to that match in just a minute. She looked great last night, I should say. Real quick, we're going to talk about the 0 hour matches and then get to the meat of the pay-per-view. 0 hour.
Oh wait, can I interrupt you before we start talking about the pay-per-view?
Sure.
Because I'm going to. Important things that happened on the show that we didn't talk about because we only talked about match results, but aren't going to come up as part of this necessarily. There was an Adam Page vignette that aired. And so it looks like he is coming back, and there was a picture of him and all the elite that someone zoomed in on and posted online from that vignette. So that's cool. From being the elite video. And then there was another big thing. What was it? Will Ospreay is giving Daniel Garcia an opportunity for the international title at Beach Break Dynamite on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. Should be a good one.
I just didn't want us to miss like things that weren't going to be covered.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. So for 0 hour, the Ring of Honor World Television Champion Kyle Fletcher beat Serpentico with a turnbuckle brainbuster for the win. It was pretty much a squash match.
He's not the television champion anymore.
Oh, he's not, right.
Yeah.
He lost it.
Yeah.
Who did he lose it to?
A dude from CMLL.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Don't know his name, sorry.
That's right, you've lost it, I'm sorry. House of Black, the team of Malachi Black and Brody King, they won a 4-way tag team match against O'Reilly and Ishii, Private Party, and New Japan Strong Champ Gabe Kidd and his partner Roderick Strong. So a good win there for the House of Black. Of course, Buddy Matthews not around because they're doing it's kayfabe injury because I believe he's on his honeymoon with Rhea Ripley. We had a women's tag match on the 0 hour. Willow Nightingale and Tom Nakano. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. They beat Chris Statlander and
Momo.
Momo.
That's her first name.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what her last name is.
Oh, I see it now.
That's what you were struggling to read.
Watanabe. I see it now.
He's having to read my handwriting.
I'm having to read her handwriting.
Not an easy task sometimes.
I can read. I promise you. All right. Also, Owen Hart Foundation tournament match. Mariah May beat Saraya. So Mariah May into the semifinals of the tournament. And we also had Hiromu Takanashi, Titan, and Yota Tsuji take on Mystico and the Lucha Brothers in a trios match, and Mystico and the Lucha Brothers won. Uh, Mystico used La Mystica to make Titan tap, and that was a good match. I saw that match on the 0 Hour. We didn't see a lot of it because we came right from an independent wrestling show, a company called AML, right from their show. And it was a cool show. I don't want to talk about it too much, but we saw Mustafa Ali wrestle, like our best local guy, Diego Hill, our best high flyer local guy. Great match, and Mustafa Ali was very classy and I mean, he won the match, but helping put the guy over. He made it a match for the TNA X title, so that was cool. Also, I got to meet one of my favorites ever, Too Cold Scorpio. He was my first favorite high flying wrestler. He was the first wrestler that made me know that that was a style. It's just amazing when he was a kid, and you know, top rope stuff wasn't as big in like 1992 and 1993 as
When
it
you were a
as it is
kid.
now. When I was a kid, that's what I said.
You said when he was a kid.
Oh, when I was a kid.
Yeah.
When
I was like, he was that young.
I was a kid.
And we got to see him wrestle too.
Yeah, Cold Scorpio wrestled, and I tell you, he's got to be 60 years old, and he still had it.
Very agile.
Very agile. He still definitely had the fundamentals look great, and he still had a moonsault that was spot on. He had another top rope move that was pretty impressive.
I don't know what it's called when it's not a 450, when you just go around once. Is that a
I guess
360?
it's not 360 if you just go around once. It's like a 270, I guess. I don't know. Did a cool splash. Who else did we see? Hacksaw Jim Duggan was there. We didn't get to meet him.
We saw the Grizzled Young Vets.
We saw the Grizzled Young Vets.
And we saw Top Dollar, whatever name he's
AJ Francis, yeah. He was in the main event, AJ Francis, in a cage match. But yeah, very cool show. Looked him up online, AML. I believe their website is amlwrestling.com. Very cool independent company out of North Carolina, and they're really becoming pretty popular. It's one of the places Cody Rhodes stopped when he made his tour of the Independents several years ago. And like I said, they just got Mustafa Ali in a match. There's Young Vets were there.
Thunder Rosa's still listed on their roster.
Oh, there you go, Thunder Rosa, and like I said, Too Cold Scorpio wrestled there, and the last show we went to, I think I got a high five from fucking Kurt Angle, who was there just to give a little promo. But cool company. We get to really meet some of the legends of wrestling. Very cool.
I'm going to say one more thing, and then we can move on back to Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
But speaking of meeting legends of wrestling, AML puts on an event every year called WrestleCade. It's Thanksgiving weekend. It's like 3 days. And it's like the mecca of wrestlers. They just all converge on Winston-Salem, which is where we live. And you can meet like a million different people. And they do wrestling shows. They do like panels and podcasts and all that good stuff.
Yeah, look into it. WrestleCade.
Yeah.
That's CADE. WrestleCade.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody and their brother is there signing autographs and stuff.
Lex Luger will be there.
Lex Luger is my number one.
Hornswoggle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They get a lot of people.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to AEW.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, where in the world is it?
You know. Normally it takes.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
So Forbidden Door, obviously yesterday, June 30th, opened up with Hechicero versus MJF. Of course, MJF's home, Long Island, and he played that up. Started with a Flair strut pretty early, and Hechicero got him some offense early on just to show that he, is a wrestler. But to me, and I've read people online didn't really see it the same way. To me, it looked like a squash match. It looked like a glorified squash match. I mean, there was no hope for Hechicero. Nothing against him. I think he's great. I like him a lot. But just how they booked it, it was like a squash match. So there wasn't a lot of excitement to it because the result was so obvious. I mean, it's cool getting to see MJF wrestle again. It's nice to have him back. But like I said, there just wasn't a lot of excitement to the match. Everything he did looked great, but he just basically was just MJF going through his offense on the guy.
And there's nothing wrong with like a match, like going into a match knowing who's going to win,
Yeah.
as long as they let both wrestlers wrestle, and showcase their talent. And I feel like this did not do that, especially with what we've seen from Hechicero before, from his little time that he's been in AEW. We know he is capable of so much more, including carrying a fireball in his hands. Why would you show us this on regular television and then not do it on the pay-per-view?
I don't know.
Where is the showmanship?
It makes no sense to me. If you didn't see it, he only did it on one show. It was like a Dynamite or Collision. Hechicero does this thing where he holds a ball of fire in his hands. I don't know.
And he like moves it around, and it's like on fire, and he puts it in a bowl, but he's holding it in his hands different. It's very cool, and I wanted to see it again, and I didn't get to, and I'm upset about it. I wonder if it was like, well, no, because they had flames shooting. I was gonna say maybe they have fire regulations in that arena that would prohibit it, but
No.
I wonder if the insurance people saw him do it the first time and were like, Tony, never again.
Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, so MJF got the win there. We both predicted MJF to win, so we were both 1-for-1 after this match. Up next, I'm sorry, and I gave it, like I said, it didn't really do much for me. I gave it 3 bones out of 5.
It might be one of the lowest, if not the lowest rated MJF match that we've had.
I think so, yes. And I think it's definitely the lowest rated Hechicero match. So, like I said, it just didn't do a lot for me. Next match, we had the Elite, the World Tag Team Champion, Young Bucks, teaming up with the undefeated Continental Champion, Okada. They're really running through AEW, and they took on Hiroshi Tanahashi and the Acclaimed. Not Billy Gunn, just Max Caster and Anthony Bowens. And this match was better for sure.
But still not great.
Well, not great. Yeah, it was
one-sided.
You thought so?
Well, I guess not really one-sided. It was one-personed on one side. Like, I can't tell you a single thing that Max or Anthony did in the whole match.
Max Caster did his mic drop, elbow drop.
Oh, and they did the scissor me timbers on both Bucks stacked. I lied. I can tell you 2 things that happened that they did. But everything else was, I forget his name, and you have my book.
Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Wanted to double check, because there's also a Chicago, there's lots of similar sounding consonants close together.
But yeah, I thought it was a good match, but a lot of it was Tanahashi getting beat up. And he sold well, but one of the things I noticed the most, Tanahashi, either his back or his legs or his knees, something's wrong, And maybe if you're a New Japan viewer, I bet you know exactly what it is. But I don't watch Japanese wrestling, so I don't know what's up, if he's had surgery or what's going on. But it's just very awkward when he has to run. I felt bad for the guy because he's older. It's not fun to be limited by pain or whatever it is that he's going through.
It's weird though, because the only parts of his wrestling that looked affected by it was when he ran. Like, he could get up off the mat like as lightning fast as like a young buck could,
Mm-hmm.
And none of his moves seemed awkward,
right?
Except for running and even just walking, honestly. But especially when he tried to like run to the other side of the ropes or something,
So yeah, it was a good match. Young Bucks and Okada picked up the win over the Acclaimed and Tanahashi. And there was a lot of cheering. Pretty much any time Okada and Tanahashi were about to square off, the crowd really wanted that. We didn't get much of it, though.
Mm-mm.
I don't know if they're saving it for somewhere down the line or something, because they teased it several times, but didn't really give it to us. But yeah, the crowd really was into that potential matchup between the New Japan guys. So yeah, Okada hit Tanahashi with the Rainmaker and got the win. After the match, they beat down Tanahashi. The heels did, and then Daddy Ass Billy Gunn rushed the ring and chased the heels away. Um, didn't really do anything to make the loss any better. Like I said, this was a good match with very good competitors all across. Uh, this one I gave 4 bones out of 5. I guess I enjoyed it more than Kay did. I thought it was a good match.
I would have given it 3.5 bones.
And
Like, I didn't hate it. It just wasn't like when I hear that I have a trios match with the Young Bucks and Okada.
Yep.
And even the Acclaimed and I forgot his name already again. Tanahashi. Yeah. I expected a higher caliber match than the one that we got.
And apparently, I didn't hear it because we did a watch along, so we were probably talking. But apparently, during the match, the crowd was doing CM Punk and anti CM Punk chants because the Young Bucks were out there. And of course, they were involved in an incident with CM Punk that we don't need to retrace anymore.
What is New York though? That's weird. Like, I'd expect that in Chicago, but
it's not good when your heat is the fans talking about a guy from a different promotion. That's not good. You want them to be yelling, Young Bucks suck and fuck the Young Bucks and shit like that. You don't want them fans chanting about someone who's not even employed by the company. So that's not good for the Young Bucks. So I'm not sure how over their EVP gimmick is. Didn't seem very over to these fans in New York. I've been enjoying it. So I don't know. Tell us what you think of it.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was Collision or Forbidden Door, but when Jack Perry wrestled on one of those 2 shows, they were doing a Crimea River chant, and it sounded very much in support of Jack Perry. And both of those shows were in New York. Just one was in Buffalo and one was in Long Island. Yeah. All right, what else you got?
All right. Oh, and just to mention, Kay and I both picked the Elite to win. We were correct, and so at this point, we're 2 for 2 on our picks. So up next, we had.
Should we say Wolf's picks too as we go? Because he's still my championship.
Well, I don't have them all written down, okay. So we'll discuss that later. Okay. But yeah, Wolf, our friend Wolf was on the watch along with us, and he did picks as well. But I'm not going to go through all of his, but we'll talk about them later. So yeah, with Bryan Danielson versus Takagi. Can't remember the guy's first name. What is it?
I have no idea.
Shingo Takagi. And this was an Owen Hart Foundation Cup first round match. People very much looking forward to it. We had a number of submission holds and just the 2 guys going back and forth at one another. Takagi got in quite a bit of offense, and Danielson did a lot of selling for him. Eventually, though, Danielson made the comeback, and he put on a submission hold on Takagi, and Danielson won by referee stoppage. So I thought this match was excellent. So now Danielson in the semifinals of the Owen Hart Foundation Cup. I thought this match was excellent. I gave it 4.5 bones out of 5. Best match on the card so far.
Oh, yeah.
Very good match.
Can I add something?
Yeah.
So this kind of ties into a news story, so I'm just going to say it now and we can take it out of the news. Danielson did an interview with Sports Illustrated. Did you see this?
No.
where he reiterated something he had said earlier that he does not want the AEW World Heavyweight Championship.
Right.
Why the fuck is he in the Owen Hart tournament that is for a title shot?
Well, a lot of people think, like Tony Khan is trying to force it on him. Like he really wants Bryan Danielson to win the world title before he goes into semi-retirement. He said he's only going to wrestle like 8 to 10 matches a year or something like that. So a lot of folks say, yeah, that's why, because they want to just force the world title on Danielson.
Well, it's interesting because in the previous interview that he did like a year or two ago, he was saying before that he didn't want any titles in AEW, and now he was specifically saying the AEW World Heavyweight. And so I don't know if that's because he's in this situation that he was being specific, or if he is now open to the idea of winning other titles. But
he has not. He has not held a title in AEW as of yet, which, when you think about it, is shocking. I mean, one of the best wrestlers in the world, certainly one of the best on their roster, has not held the belt for AEW.
They haven't even had the trio belts, which is what I would expect him to have.
Yeah, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure of that. I don't think he's had any belt in AEW. But yeah, so Danielson, look, he had a losing streak for a little bit. It looks like he's coming back from it. And as I said, maybe they're forcing the world title on him before he goes into semi-retirement. Who knows? But this match,
mean. Like, Tony cares so much about what the wrestlers want and like honoring their wishes. I cannot see him doing that.
well, he wants to honor Bryan Danielson. He wants, when you look back at the list of AEW champions, he wants Bryan Danielson's name to be on there as a world champion.
Yeah, but if that's not what he wants, I don't know. That's whatever. Seems stupid.
But this match, as I said, very good. 4.5 bones out of 5. Both of us picked Bryan Danielson to win, so at this point we're both 3 for 3 in our picks. Pretty good start. Up next, we had the women's world title match. World Women's Champion Toni Storm, of course, accompanied by Luther, and Mariah May was kind of in the middle of things. And Toni defended her belt against Mina Shirakawa. And this, I thought, was another very good match. Sorry. These ladies really went at it. There were 2 women's matches on the pay-per-view itself, and I think they were both very good. So yeah, it's we used to scream about it, have 2 women's shows. Have 2 women's matches per show, and so here now they're doing it on the pay-per-view at least. So that's a step in the right direction.
And even another women's match on the 0 hour too.
Right?
Yeah.
So 3 out of however many 14 matches I think it was. That's a ridiculous number of matches, but
I actually think it was 15. There were 5 on the 0 hour.
They didn't go too long though. It was over before midnight, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, that's because like MJF and Hechicero, their match was like 5 minutes. It felt like, and the 0 hour matches were pretty quick too, at least from what we saw.
But yeah, this match very good. As I said, they cut to Mariah May quite a bit to kind of show how she was, on edge about which lady was going to win. There's quite an odd, love triangle going on in this angle. Lots of making out and kissing and rubbing titties,
making out,
and bumping titties.
It's just kissing
and asses and face and jiggling asses and face. A lot of things I did not expect out of this feud, or out of Toni Storm and Mariah May when this began. So
what's really nice about it? This might sound kind of weird.
What?
Like when WWE did this in like the early 2000s and in the 90s with like lesbian stuff, or like women like being sexual towards other women,
Yeah.
like that was definitely there for men. Like, I don't feel that way about this, you know? Like, I feel like it's just like that's what they want to do, and so they're doing it, you know? Like, I don't feel like it's like pandering to like sexually aroused like underage boys, you know?
Yeah.
So it's nice that we've made progress in
I agree.
wrestling.
I agree with you. I kind of feel that way as well. I'm not sure if it's doing anything to help their angle or career or anything, but I've definitely enjoyed it. So
Well, it's what's interesting is like I expected this match to have some sort of like explosive ending to it.
Yeah.
As far as their relationships go, and it did not at all. It ended. Wait, have you already said the ending?
No.
Okay. No, do you want to?
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, it ended with after Tony retained her championship.
She hit a Storm Zero pile driver for the pin and the win.
And then Mariah May comes into the ring and gets both like she like hugs Tony or whatever, and then she gets Tony to walk over with her to Mina and help Mina up, and then they all do a group hug, and then they do like a group kiss, and then that was it, and then they all just left together. So it was odd because I thought I knew where the story was going, and now I don't. So that's kind of cool because I felt like I knew what was going to happen, and it didn't happen. I think the break is coming. I just really expected it to be here, didn't you? I mean, you expected like at least Mariah to have to choose one side.
I did.
Or something.
I did expect it here. It seemed primed for Mariah May to make a decision with who she's going to roll with, to team with. I feel like that's even how it was advertised, and so it was a bit of a letdown. I'll be honest that we didn't see a definitive direction made by Mariah May.
Oh, I don't think so at all. I think it seems so much more authentic. Like when during the signing of the contract for this match, like when Mina told Mariah May like you have to choose between us,
Mm-hmm.
and then before she could say anything, they all got attacked by the Outcasts. Like I feel like that was Mariah getting like saved by the bell, kind of. But with this, I feel like she's like manipulating both women into not having to make a decision yet, you know?
No.
Like she's not ready to be pulled in two different directions. Like she's trying to hold them together. And I find that more interesting. So it's interesting that you were disappointed because I was pleasantly surprised.
Like I said, only slightly disappointed,
Yeah.
But yeah, good match. Very good match, I would say. So I can find my own rating. I gave that one 4 bones out of 5. And this is one we both picked Tony Storm to win, so we were correct. And at this point, we were 4 for 4 on our picks, so we were feeling pretty confident at that point.
But maybe we shouldn't have.
Maybe we shouldn't have. So next up, we have Orange Cassidy, former international champion, taking on Zack Sabre Jr., former New Japan World Television Champion, and maybe the best technical wrestler in the world. And just as I thought, Orange Cassidy, he brought it for this match.
Oh
This
God.
guy is perhaps the most underrated wrestler in the world, I think.
Yeah.
Because people don't see him as being world class, but he hung right in there with Zack Sabre Jr., and this match was fantastic.
I don't remember the exact quote, but I was looking through notes from the media scrum afterwards, and Zack Sabre Jr. was one of the people that participated. And basically, he said, for all the people who are doubting or questioning whether Orange Cassidy deserves to be on TV or be a wrestler, like, you guys are fucking idiots, basically. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but he definitely said the F word and basically called them all idiots.
Who was that again? I'm sorry.
Zack Sabre Jr. In regard to people who are doubting Orange Cassidy.
But yeah, there were counters, reversals, double counters, double reversals, wild stuff. Zack Sabre Jr. does some things that every match I see him in, he does things that I've never seen before. And I've seen a lot of wrestling. So I think he's great in my book. He's fantastic, puts on a great show. You don't know where the match is going. Some guys have the same match every time. or maybe one out of 2 or 3 different matches every time. But this guy, it's different every time. You don't know what he's going to do next. If for me, move to move even. So that's something I'd like to see more of in wrestling. Just less predictability, and the best way to get that is for guys to have more moves in their repertoire.
It's neat too because like I think if you just see one of his matches, it's easy to assume that he has a very specific style that would only work against other very technical wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
But if you've seen his AEW matches and like his Ring of Honor matches and probably his New Japan matches, I would imagine, he can really handle like any kind of style, at least that I've seen. I don't know if I've seen him against a high flyer. Have you?
Who were you talking about?
Zack
I was,
Sabre
I was
Jr.
reading something.
Zack
I'm
Sabre
sorry.
Jr.
I haven't really seen him against a high flyer, yeah, and how he might go about, grounding him, yeah.
Yeah. So that would like Wrestle Dream. I'd like to request a high flyer versus Zack Sabre Jr. match, please, Tony.
Maybe Ray Phoenix might be
Oh,
cool.
that'd be good. Yeah.
Uh,
No, that's good. Let's leave it right there. Ray Phoenix, Zack Sabre Jr. Make it happen.
Maybe I don't know when he's going to be back, but El Hijo del Vikingo. I'm not sure when he's coming back.
Or if he's coming back, because they don't have a partnership with AAA anymore.
True. I mean,
TNA
coming back to
does.
wrestling is.
Okay.
So hopefully he comes back to AEW. We'll see. Wherever he is, I will follow him. So we'll be getting AAA television if that's all he's on. So, but yeah. So the end of this match, Zack Sabre Jr. basically twisted Orange Cassidy up like a pretzel in this hold that looked impossible to get out of.
I think you were like, what did they say that's called? It was like they didn't say anything because no one knows what that's called.
Yeah.
Because it's not a thing.
Yeah, never seen it before. Whatever it was. He just wrapped him up. And he got the pin. Because who knows how to get out of it? No one does because no one's seen it before.
At one point in the match, I was like, whose foot is that by Orange Cassidy's face?
Yeah, that's
like it was so twisted. I couldn't tell if it was his own foot or if it was Zack Sabre Jr.'s foot.
I saw a lot of
awesome.
twisting of limbs. And Zack Sabre Jr. loves those spots where he breaks somebody's finger, joint manipulation. I think the British guys are bigger on that and have kind of brought it to the States,
which I appreciate.
Yeah, I love that. I love that stuff. But yeah, this one very good. After the match, while Orange kind of just sat in the ring, dejected, while he had a black T-shirt rather than a white one, so that's of note. But he just sat dejected in the ring while his theme song, the Pixies' "Where Is My Mind," was playing, and I think that's kind of a hint, that we're about to see a different Orange Cassidy. That's what I think.
I cannot believe I didn't notice he was wearing a black T-shirt.
Really?
I was just so focused on Zack Sabre Jr. I just like blocked out everything else. That's funny.
But yeah, I think we're going to see a different one.
He had switched to a darker jean recently. Like he's not doing that like acid washed kind of really light blue jean. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting.
But yeah, as I said, this match excellent.
Did you say
I gave this one 4.5 bones out of 5.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Well, I guess bullshit. You're kind of right. 5 bones. Yeah, you're right.
Bullshit.
I can't point out any flaws, so that's fair. And it was a very excellent match. Yeah.
I'm like actively mad at you.
I'll give it 5 bones. I'll give it 5 bones. That's a fair assessment.
How dare you, sir?
I try to be pretty sparing with the 5 bones.
I know, but come on.
But that match was excellent. Yeah, it deserved it.
What more do you want from these men?
Yeah, true. And let's see. Kay and I both picked Zack Sabre Jr. to win. So at this point, we were 5 for 5 in our predictions. So pretty decent start, we thought. Halfway through the show, we were perfect.
Feeling pretty good about
We
ourselves.
usually do pretty well. We usually do. Um, Up next, we had a match. A lot of people considered they considered either this or Hechicero versus MJF kind of the worst match of the night. Um, so we saw the learning tree team of FTW champion Chris Jericho, the Redwood Big Bill, and Jeff Cobb for some reason, and they took on the trios team.
New Japan Television Champion Jeff Cobb.
There you go. Thank you. And they took on the team of Samoa Joe, Hook, and Katsuyori Shibata. And this match, it was okay. It never really got a lot of heat. The most heat was the fans against Jericho. Yeah.
Like, not his character, just like him as a person. It seemed. I didn't like it. It was mean.
Yeah, they were chanting, "Please retire," and things like that. And then he got on the mic and was like, "I know you don't really want me to retire because I'm a Long Islander myself. I grew up here and blah, blah, blah." His dad played, I forget, for the Rangers, I think, not the Islanders. But Jericho kind of grew up in New York. His dad played the NHL, if you don't know that. But yeah, it was really rude, I thought. I mean, a wrestling legend who is, not. Jericho put on a good match, I thought. But we have this wrestling legend, and what is he? He's got to be over 50 now.
I have no idea.
He's got to be over 50, I think.
He's
9, 19. It's 25. Yeah, he's over 50. Yeah. But the guy can still go, and I hate seeing a legend of wrestling get treated in such a way. It's disgraceful. Really, it is.
No, but it's disgraceful, like, no matter who it is. Like, if you're at a show, like, that's super fucked up. Like, yeah, you can boo them because they're a heel, or you can boo them just because you don't like them. That's fine. But, like, chanting mean shit at them, like, you're just a terrible person.
Yeah. Yeah, that's me.
If it has nothing to do with, like, their character, like, if you're attacking them as a human, like, something is wrong with your soul.
Yeah, so this match is pretty standard trios match. Nothing to write home about. Hook hit the Judas effect on Chris Jericho, kind of showing him, he doesn't need Chris Jericho, giving him a taste of his own medicine, so to speak. And Hook got the pin and the win. So Samoa Joe, Hook, and Shibata, they've been a pretty effective team, and they're a weird mixture, but a mixture where that's very complete. How each of them fills in a gap that the others may not possess. Except for the fact no one's really a high flyer. Other than that, they fill in the gaps that the others leave. So very cool team, I think.
I just wanted to say, I have, like, mixed feelings about Hook, usually. But that was the best Judas effect I have ever seen.
It looked really good.
It was not only the best Judas effect I've ever seen, it was the best looking move I'd ever seen a Hook do. And I'm not, like, anti-Hook, like, he does good stuff. This looked awesome.
Yeah, it looked
great.
Yep.
It made me want to, like, grab my jaw, like it just, you could feel the pain that he caused.
It was good. It was good. But yeah, speaking of trios, just real quick, who was absent from the pay-per-view, from the 0 Hour, the fucking trios champions, the Bang Bang Gang, nowhere to be seen. No Jay White, no Guns, no Juice Robinson.
I didn't even notice. That's a good point.
What gives? I don't. They got left off the whole thing. There's fucking 14, 15 matches. You can't put the fucking Bullet Club in the pay-per-view. I don't get it.
I thought you were going to mention Trent Beretta, because I don't understand why he wasn't on there.
There's another one, yeah, Trent Beretta.
Like, they made such a big deal about, I know I've said this before, so I'll keep it brief. I know they made such a big deal about the best friends breaking up, and it was like this huge storyline, and then he joined the Callis family, and nothing has happened since then.
Yeah.
At least that I remember happening.
Yeah, just notably being left off the card, the Bang Bang Gang, which I really don't like calling them because Bullet Club is so much better, but like I said, I don't know. I guess there's some sort of copyright thing going. I don't know.
Has
We
it
need
been?
to look it up.
Oh, okay.
We need to look
I thought you
into
meant you
it.
like read that to like validate our theory, but
No.
it's still just our theory.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I keep saying we need to look it up, and then I forget about it. But I would like to look it up and really find out what's going on with that.
If you have some idea, feel free to throw it in the comments.
Yeah, exactly.
So what did you rate this match?
So yeah, this match. Um, well, before that, let me ask: do you think the learning tree stuff is getting over with fans, or no?
I think it is, just
Yeah,
not in Long Island,
not in
apparently.
Long Island.
Yeah. I mean, like he hasn't been getting reactions like that recently, at least like I missed a chunk there when I was out of town, but from the recent TV that I have seen, like he seems to be much better received than he was doing the Lionheart stuff right before this.
Yeah.
I think people love the like, hey guys, and the thanks guys, like, I feel like people are getting on board
Thanks,
with that.
guys.
Yeah. Like I've noticed like signs and stuff that is for the learning tree in a positive light. Whereas before it was very hard to find a pro Jericho sign. So I mean, I think it's working. I think
I think so.
if it's not a kayfabe injury, I feel like the Brian Keith's injury was poorly timed. But now I'm thinking with Jeff Cobb getting put in, it had to be kayfabe,
Is
right?
he? I don't know if he's part of the learning tree.
No, I meant put in that match.
Oh, okay.
Because he issued a challenge for someone
I remember.
for his title at Forbidden Door,
Mm.
and no one accepted it.
Yeah, I don't know what
This roster of amazing wrestlers who aren't appearing in this pay-per-view were like, hey, here's an opportunity, and it's for a title.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't I showcase my talent on international television? It just seems odd. So anyway, so to put Jeff Cobb in this instead.
So this match, like I said, everybody who worked in it was good, but it's nothing great. I gave this one 3.5 bones out of 5. A decent match. And in this one, we both picked the Learning Tree team to win, and we were both wrong, obviously. So this was the first match that we had missed all night. So we were 5 out of 6 at this point in our predictions. Next up, we had the big TNT title ladder match. Of course, the TNT title had to be vacated after Adam Copeland tried that stupid stunt off of the top of the cage onto a table. Man, just really dumb. Really dumb.
Just unnecessary risk.
Yeah, just no, that wasn't good. Um, Derek's Wrestling Toys and Tees is here. Says right about that. Daniel Garcia would be good to battle Jeff Cobb. Yeah,
that's a great idea.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, they should have done that, especially like since they're still in New York. Do you think Adam Copeland like practiced that before doing it?
No.
So he had no idea how to land. He just was gonna guess as he was
falling? I'm guessing. Yes, I'm guessing there was no practice on that.
Do they do like they do like falling training, right? Like
sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Okay.
For like a big stunt, you mean?
Like I know with Darby Allin's like Revolution like glass chair shot, they brought in like professional stunt people to like show them how to set it up and do that stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean for like, is that part of like regular wrestler training? Like if you're jumping off a cage, this is how you should land.
Generally no, because you don't see that much, really.
So these dudes are just like, I have an idea, and then they just do it.
Yeah, because a lot of times if you're jumping off a cage, a lot of times nowadays, you're getting caught. The other guys are breaking your fall. It's not like Jimmy Superfly Snuka, who was on top of a cage and just came down with a splash. But this cage that Copeland was in was bigger than the Snuka cage. That's the first cage jump a lot of people remember. If you're too young, look it up. Jimmy Superfly Snuka cage dive probably will get you to it. So check it out. The crowd went wild. One of the first dives off the top of a steel cage I think most people had seen. Yeah, my point where we were talking about was Adam Copeland had to vacate it. So now we have a big six-man match to crown a new TNT champion. We had Dante Martin, El Fantasmo, Leo Rush, Jack Perry of the Elite. We had Ring of Honor World Champion Mark Briscoe and Konosuke Takeshita from the Callis family. And so good mixture of talent here, definitely.
Callis didn't come out with him though, did he? I didn't see him.
I don't believe so.
It's odd. Like anytime his family used to have matches, like he was there at the ringside, ready to like interfere with stuff. So it just seems weird that he has stopped doing that. Especially while his family's like in limbo, kind of, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure. I expected, speaking of that, I expected some definite things to happen with the Callis family tonight as far as who's in, who's out, the alliance, who's really with him. And we just got it more muddied than ever. We didn't get any clarification on that stuff, I feel like.
Yeah. I feel like, you know how like the fates are cutting like the threads of life, like one little piece of thread at a time, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like we're on the last ply of that yarn, you know?
Okay.
We cut the second ply last night and we're just literally hanging on by a single piece of thread at this point. Okay. There is some ancient Greek mythology references for you guys. Yeah, you're welcome.
So yeah, there's some crazy spots as always in a ladder match. There weren't as many crazy spots as I think we expected. What did you say? Just based on some past AEW ladder matches.
Well, you have to remember, one, Darby Allin's not in this match.
Or Sammy Guevara.
Or Sammy Guevara. So the two people who do the stupidest shit, that's like going to get themselves killed.
Or Jeff Hardy.
Or Jeff Hardy. Yeah. So the top three, like stunt masters, I will call them, weren't present. Dante Martin, he's got some balls for being back in a ladder match. That has to be so scary.
Yeah, after he twisted his foot around backwards on a Ring of Honor ladder match year and a half ago about.
I think Mark Briscoe really shined a light on himself as the most insane out of the six men in this match.
Yeah, he
did some stuff where I was like, oh my God, is he okay? Is the person he just did that to okay?
Yeah.
That was probably a really bad idea, you know?
But yeah, Mark Briscoe definitely looked good in this. And for a minute, it looked like he was about to scale the ladder. Well, he did scale the ladder. For a minute, it looked like he was about to win and become a double champion. But Jack Perry took him out. And then
no, he jumped off the ladder. He would climbed up to the top and could have just grabbed it, but instead he took a dive off the top of the ladder, which he was on by himself, and took out another guy for no reason. He could have had that belt. Like he could have had it.
I thought Perry took him out.
I mean, he climbed the ladder multiple times, but the time where he was like,
okay,
within like a half inch of the belt, and then decided to jump instead.
I'm talking about the end of the match.
I don't remember when.
I think Perry took him out. Anyways, so he scurries up, grabs the belt, and Jack Perry is the new TNT champion. So they're giving him the ball and saying, "Run with it." So we're gonna find out. The TNT title is one of those when the right people have it, it's defended very often on television. So we're gonna see if Jack Perry, is just a gimmick now, or if he has really improved his wrestling. So we're going to find out now. And now the Elite, crazy, draped in gold. The Bucks have the tag titles. Okada's the undefeated Continental Champion, and now Jack Perry with the TNT title. So things are going well for the Elite. And a lot of folks think they're going to be adding a member very soon with Hangman Adam Page. That's what a lot of people think. So we'll see.
Well, they're definitely adding a member. We just don't know if it's going to be Hangman because they said on TV this week that they're going to make sure that the wild card match for the Owen Hart tournament is going to be a member of the Elite. And presumably it's not going to be one of the four of them since they all have belts already, you know?
Yeah, but it could be. But yeah, I think it's going to be someone new.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be, well, or returning.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it'll be Hangman.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of people think that. So we'll see. So the ladder match, uh, like I said, was good, but not just wild like we expect out of a ladder match.
That was really good.
Okay, I gave it 4 bones out of 5, so that's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
I probably would have given it that.
Um,
Can I say who I think a shining star from this was?
okay.
El Phantasmo. Like at one point, like I love Mark Briscoe. I love Mark Briscoe. But at one point I was like, maybe I should root for El Phantasmo. Like he was doing some awesome stuff with the ladders, like and running on like like when they set up a ladder and someone puts a vertical ladder where it's like in the rungs of the other ladder, but then the end of it's like on top of the ropes. He like ran across that while it was on the ropes, so it was like bouncing and he still didn't die. It was or break anything.
He was impressive. Yeah, that's for sure. So this one, I picked Takeshita to win the TNT title, and he was denied again. So I was wrong on this. Kay, who did you pick?
I picked Jack Perry.
Oh yeah, she picked Jack Perry. Okay.
Yeah.
So at this point, I was 5 for 7 in my picks, and Kay was 6 for 7. So she took the lead on me here in the ladder match.
Which means, if we didn't have a third participant, I would have retained my belt.
Oh, was this the last one we disagreed on?
No, but it wouldn't have mattered at that point.
Oh, right, correct.
Because you had to outright beat me 2-0.
Right. So yeah, the tie goes to the champion.
Yeah.
And Derek here said El Phantasmo, was surprisingly good in that match. Yeah, I agree. When they added him, I wasn't so sure. I was like, oh, okay, what's up with that? But he deserved to be there, yeah, for sure. But yeah, okay, moving along. Up next, so we had 3 matches left. And we had the TBS. It was title for title. We had Mercedes Moné and her TBS title taking on Stephanie Vaquer. I think that's how you say it. I'm not sure. Who was the New Japan Women's Strong Champion, which that's the belt Mercedes was supposed to be the first champion. But she got injured in it, called an audible in the ring, had Willow Nightingale win it, and never won it herself, Mercedes. So she wanted that belt. And this match, very good. Hard hitting, I say.
It's my third favorite, I decided.
Yeah?
Yeah, on the card, third favorite.
And a lot of times, I say, I'll look at Mercedes and kind of judge her and be like, she doesn't have the look of a wrestler, She doesn't look that strong or this, that, or the other. But man, she's really good, She's really good. When I think that kind of thing, I'm definitely wrong because she has strength to her. She doesn't appear to.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know where she gets it. I get it all in her core. I don't know. But she is strong, no doubt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she looks like a sports entertainer, not a wrestler.
Yeah.
And she is somehow both very well, does both very well,
Yeah.
Very cool.
Talk about the star of the match, though. Stephanie Vaquer. We should find out how to say it, for real.
We knew yesterday.
I just don't know now. I think it's Vaquer. I don't know. Who fucking knows?
Yeah.
Anyways, she looked fantastic. I had not seen that much of her, and her stuff looked really good. It was just spot on. Looked painful, looked high impact, looked real, so to speak. And she really looked good in that match.
Mm-hmm.
However, it wasn't enough. Mercedes Moné overcame her and became a double champion. And then,
I'm sorry. I was going to say something about Stephanie real quick.
oh, go ahead.
Okay. So it's worth noting that she put her New Japan Strong women's champion on the championship on the line, but she actually has went into the match having 3 belts already. So
Right.
this would have been her 4th belt.
Correct.
Because in CMLL, I believe she's the women's champion. I think it's the head women's title, but I could be wrong. And she also is one of the women's tag champs.
And another note, she had the crowd on her side.
Mm-hmm.
The crowd was against Mercedes, definitely. And so has she turned heel?
Yeah, dude. It's because she was. Did you hear their chants? It's
They were
because she was
chanting,
from
fuck
Boston.
the Celtics.
Yeah, and fuck the Red Sox. It's because she was from Boston.
Go Celtics.
Yeah. Okay. Go Celtics. Yeah. In case you were wondering, the Celtics.
Show the nice people here.
Celtics
Celtics championship shirt.
Championship this year. So my shirt came today. I was very excited.
Yeah, that's our favorite basketball
team. It goes nicely with my pendant that I'm going to put on the wall.
Pennant.
What do I always say? Because
I
it's because I think necklace pendant. Wait, is that pendant also? No, that's pendant.
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, Celtics won the NBA championship, so that was awesome. But yeah, the crowd was chanting "fuck the Celtics," and they were loud too.
Yeah.
Trying to get under her skin. So I think the crowd was for Stephanie, and if Mercedes, I don't know if she turned heel. She always kind of comes off as a heel to me, but she's a heel now, I guess. What do you think about that?
Do we only have 2 women faces? Well, 3 if we can include Queen Aminata.
I'm sure we have more than that. Shida, Riho.
I was counting Riho.
Aminata.
I forgot about Shida.
Mariah May, Tony Storm.
Are they were heels though? Are they not still heels?
I think they're kind of faces now. Yeah.
Well, I meant clear, 100%. This person is a face.
I don't know.
Like Riho, Shida,
Willow Nightingale.
Yeah, Willow and
So
Queen.
there's several. There's several.
I don't know. I just feel. I mean, they need more women faces.
Serena Deeb's a face.
Yeah, but she sucks at it. I don't count her because she clearly needs to be a heel. Out of all the women in AEW, she is the one that needs to be a heel. Her, probably Mercedes, and Britt Baker's such a good heel. I just don't want her to be a face.
So yeah, after the match, we heard some music, and I didn't recognize the music because most AEW music is pretty generic. The crowd recognized it. I fucking didn't. And it was the return of Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. So very cool.
Awesome.
This women's division keeps getting better and better in AEW. And this will really bolster it for sure with Britt Baker back. She's a pretty solid wrestler. So yeah, just can't wait to get some of these matchups with Monet versus some of these people she hasn't seen. Monet and Britt Baker would be great.
Mm-hmm.
Monet and eventually Tony Storm, I bet we'll see, will be great.
Thunder Rosa.
Monet and Mariah May, Thunder Rosa.
There's another face that we forgot to name in our list of faces. Yeah.
But the women's roster is getting pretty stacked. And they've started doing 2 women's matches per show a lot of time. Not always, but a lot of time. So yeah, the women's roster is it's really coming along. It's nice to see. So this match, we both picked Mercedes Moné to walk out with 2 belts. She did, of course. And let me see, that made me 6 for 8 in my picks. And that made Kay 7 for 8 in her picks.
Did you say your bone rating for this?
I did not. No, I was about to. Okay. So yeah, Mercedes Moné, she made Vakura tap out to the crippler crossface.
Crossface.
Cripple crossface.
They don't call it that anymore. It's crossface.
Cripple crossface. And this match I gave 4 bones out of 5. So same I gave the other women's match. They're both very solid matches.
This one was better. I would have given it 4.5.
This one was better, but yeah, 4 bones. Uh, Solid match, good match. Up next, we had the IWGP World Heavyweight Title match with John Moxley of the BCC defending the belt against Tetsuya Naito, who's an odd guy. I like him though. And this one started it was a very Japanese style match. It started slowly and really built up, I thought. Um, Moxley came out with his brawling style, and Naito was a bit more technical than Moxley, and that proved to work fairly well. Naito got his shots in during this match. Um, but yeah, pretty much they sold, that Moxley was frustrated that he couldn't put Naito away, couldn't end the match. Um, so. Kind of, Moxley thinks he's the ace of the company, so to speak. And a lot of fans would say Moxley is the ace of AEW. Um, they would. I wouldn't, but a lot of fans would say that. Oh, well, I'd have to think about it, actually. A lot of fans would say he is, though. But yeah, that's another angle of this, is Moxley is really fighting for his company against New Japan. AEW. He's like AEW, tried and true. Moxley is. Um, but yeah, he couldn't win it, and Naito eventually beat um, Moxley and won the IWGP World Title. And this one, let me see, we both picked Moxley, and so we were wrong. And at this point, I was 6 for 9 on my picks, and Kay was 7 for 9 on her picks.
This is the match that cost me my championship.
Yeah, yeah.
I've lost it to Wolf.
Yeah. Well, you're giving her. Oh, yeah. Okay.
No, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, Wolf, who was our guest on the show, he won the No Bones About Wrestling Prediction Championship. So congratulations to Wolf. One of us will get it back next pay-per-view.
I will.
Whenever AEW does another pay-per-view. All right, so now the main event. We had Swerve Strickland, the world champion, of course, accompanied by Prince Nana, taking on Will Ospreay, the undefeated international champion, on a run of a lifetime, just having great matches with almost everyone he faces. Not Shane Taylor, but what are you going to do with Shane Taylor? Yeah, this match I was really looking forward to. A lot of people were kind of sleeping on it and thought, Zack Sabre Jr. might be the best match, thinking the ladder match might be the best match, things like that. Thinking maybe Mox and Naito might be the best match. But yeah, these two, they went in there and they put on a hell of a match, pulling out all stops. Both men really digging deep in their arsenal to see what we had in the two. And at one point, Don Callis came out and he presented Ospreay a screwdriver, and Ospreay, he looked as though he was going to murder. Who was it? Prince Nana? Was that?
Well, no, first it was he was going to bring it into the ring and
Right.
use it on Swerve, but Prince Nana stops him.
Right.
And then he's looking like he's going to stab Prince Nana. And then he kind of wakes up and realizes Prince Nana's the best guy ever. Why would I stab him?
Yeah, he looked like he was
throws
about
it.
to murder Prince Nana with a screwdriver. So that was an odd turn in the match. I didn't expect that, honestly.
I feel like they did it at a good time in the match because, both men were hitting finisher after finisher after finisher, and it wasn't doing anything. And so I think they were both getting frustrated. And I think we were supposed to think that Will was at that point where he no longer knows what it's going to take to win this match, and should he listen to this man that at one point he chose for whatever reason to be his support and coach and voice of reason, I guess. So I could see it. But Prince Nana is like the most beloved person in AEW, I think. So
maybe. But yeah, great match. Great match. But yeah, as Kay said, eventually Ospreay came to his senses. He didn't use the screwdriver on anyone.
mm-hmm.
And another driver he didn't use was the Tiger Driver 91.
Nice transition.
Thank you. Which a lot of people thought he should have used. And our friend Wolf on our prediction show last Thursday, he said, um, "Here, you tell me, or I'm gonna get it wrong."
He thought that Swerve was gonna win, and he was gonna win by using the Tiger Driver 91 on Ospreay.
Which would have been
after
awesome
Ospreay like decided not to use it on Swerve.
Right, that would have been awesome.
So good, yeah.
But yeah, it felt like a big match. The crowd was hot. Everybody was on their feet. Everybody was cheering. The crowd was pretty evenly split, I felt like. Because Ospreay is the hot new thing, but Swerve, has had a meteoric rise up to the world title. It was almost kind of like the Kofi Kingston thing, just not quite as big, not quite as big a scale. Because Kofi Mania was crazy, how big that was. But Swerve's took a little longer and was just a slower build. But I felt like it was the same kind of
but Kofi also
build for the fans, really just willing this guy to the world title.
Yeah, Kofi had time though, like on his side, to make his seem like a bigger deal because he was there for so long without an opportunity. Right. And this company hasn't even been around that long, for it to be close to the same amount of time. But I thought there were just like an awesome number of near falls.
Yeah.
And not like really quick back and forth because I'm not really a big fan of that, but like really hard earned near falls.
Right.
And there were so many that like for the last 7 probably you were like, this has to be it. Like they've gotten so close, like this has to be it, and it wasn't, and it was awesome.
Yeah. No, it was. There were, sometimes those close call twos can get a little cheesy. And then you're like, oh my God, another one,
Yeah.
But these, as she said, you really felt like the match was about to be over, and on several of them, and they got us,
And I wish that I had written down who the ref was. Mm-hmm. I know it wasn't Aubrey, but whoever the ref was, he deserves such recognition, because like I think I saw the closest 2.99 count, where he like stopped his hand, and I've seen people do that before, so it's not like stunning, but his was so close, and he did it at the exact, like your timing has to be just flawless for that, so that you're not like obviously stopping your hand because you're slowing down because it's not going to be 3, and I just thought he did a great job.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so eventually Swerve, he hits multiple house calls, which is when he jumps and kicks people in the temple.
Yeah.
Hit multiple house calls on Ospreay. Eventually got the win. Handed Ospreay his first loss in AEW, and Swerve kept his world title. And Ospreay still the international champion. His belt was not on the line in this match. But yeah, these guys, man, they put it on. They fantastic match. And like I said, I think better than a lot of people expected. A lot of people were sleeping on this match.
I don't think that's true. I just think this card was so awesome that it was hard to pick who was going to be the best match. And when you got Zack Sabre Jr. wrestling Orange Cassidy,
yeah,
I thought that was going to be the better match, and I was wrong.
People were.
I even actually picked it as the best match, and then changed my mind the more I thought about it.
People were sleeping. So as I said, Swerve beat Ospreay. I gave this match another one 5 bones out of 5. Excellent match. I gave to this and Cassidy versus Sabre. Both just excellent matches. You couldn't want much more out of wrestling.
Do you want to run down your overall, this one, like the total bones? You do that sometimes when we do pay-per-views. Sure. Like it had this many 5 bone and this many.
Yeah. So yeah, I gave 5 bones, and I predicted Ospreay to win the world title. I was wrong. I finished 6 for 10 in my prediction. So yeah, not great, not good. Because I started 5 for 5. So
Wait,
the
six?
last what
No, 6 for 10?
6 for 10.
I thought you were 7 for 10.
I'm pretty sure I went 6 for 10.
Oh,
Kay did well. She finished 8 for 10 on her picks,
80%. I gotta be.
but she didn't do well enough because Wolf got 9 out of 10. And the only match he missed, what was it? It was the Elite versus
match,
Tanahashi
yeah.
and the Acclaim. He
Yeah.
missed that. That was the only match he missed. So 9 out of 10, pretty good. And he won the No Bones About Wrestling Predictions Championship.
Which we will try and get a photoshopped version of him wearing that belt because it's going to be too expensive to mail it to Michigan, so that's not happening.
Right.
But he can wear it in his mind and with his spirit, you know?
But yeah, gave 2 5-bone matches. Zack Sabre Jr. over Cassidy, and Swerve over Ospreay. Gave out a 4.5-bone match. Bryan Danielson over Takagi. So pretty much the matches we thought were going to be the top ones were the top ones. And then I gave several 4 bones matches. The Elite, the Trios match, the Tony Storm match, the ladder match for the TNT title, the Mercedes Moné match, and the Naito versus Moxley match. I gave all those 4 bones out of 5. I gave uh, the trios with Samoa Joe, Hook, and Shibata over Jericho, Big Bill, and Jeff Cobb. Gave that 3.5 bones. And then my worst rating of the night was 3 bones out of 5 for MJF versus Hechicero. Just didn't do a lot for me.
So can I ask you a question about your ratings?
Okay.
I disagree with one of them, which I'm going to tell you about right now.
More.
So you gave Danielson's match against Takagi 4.5.
4.5.
Yeah, I'm sorry, 4.5
Yes.
bones. But the Mercedes Monet and Stephanie Vaquer match, you gave 4.
Correct.
You think that Danielson's match was better than that women's match?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Definitely.
I wish I had a bullhorn right now just to say wrong at you with it.
So what else we're going to do? Top 5 and the
Top 5 news.
Okay. All right. So now it's time for the top 5. It's the top 5 rankings. Each week we sweat and bleed to bring you the top 5 men, the top 5 women, and the top 5 teams in AEW. Our ranking system is perfect. It has no flaws, and it is also super secret. We will never tell you how we determine the rankings. So just live with it.
I'd like to file a complaint that you no longer say that we're going to take it to our watery graves.
We'll take it. We'll take the secret to our watery graves.
Pretty good.
Anyway, who should we start with? Men, women, or teams?
Let's start with women since you didn't rate their matches high enough. Let's give them a spotlight.
All right, women. Number 5, Mina Shirakawa. She's down 3 spots from number 2 last week. She lost, but she put in a very good showing in the match against Tony Storm. So number 5. Number 4, Mariah May. She was unranked last week. She got, of course, the big win in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament over Saraya. And Mariah May in the semifinal. A lot of eyes on her now. Number 3, Stephanie Vaquer, who again, she lost her match, lost her belt, but just put on an excellent display. So she ends up number 3 out of the top 5. Number 2, the TBS champion and New Japan Women's Strong champion. Oh, wait, excuse me, New Japan Strong Women's champion. Mercedes Moné. She's up at number 2. She's up 3 spots from number 5 last week. And at number 1, she has been there for months. The Women's World Champion, Timeless, Tony Storm. So that's number one, Tony Storm. Number two, Mercedes Moné. Number three, Stephanie Vaquer. Number four, Mariah May. And number five, Mina Shirakawa. Who do we do next, men or teams?
Teams.
Teams. So it was an odd week for teams. We didn't have some of our regular teams in action, and then we got some mixed teams, with the New Japan guys.
Hmm.
So the teams ratings are just you can find some odd pairings that probably won't make the top five next week because they won't exist anymore. But so
I just realized that when I was contributing my thoughts, I totally forgot that this one team even wrestled.
the what?
I forgot about a team that wrestled that I would have put on my suggestions list.
Who?
The Lucha Brothers and Mystico. I totally
Yeah.
forgot about them.
Yeah. Well. So,
Okay.
so number five, making their debut, of course, on the list, the team of Chris Jericho, Big Bill, and Jeff Cobb, who worked well as a team, but they lost their match to Joe Hook and Shibata. Number four in the rankings, the Acclaimed and Hiroshi Tanahashi, who once again they lost, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they lost their match, but looked pretty good in losing. I thought seemed like a cool team. Number three, and of course they were never ranked before, never a team before. Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay. Talk about an awesome tag team, and they were in action. What, Wednesday on Dynamite? Wasn't it?
Yes.
They beat whom?
They beat the Gates of Agony.
That's right. Thank you. And so that's a good win for them. They were very cool as a tag team. It's a team I'd like to see, but we're not going to really see that. So, number two, they're up one spot from number three last week. Samoa Joe, Hook, and Katsuyori Shibata. So they're climbing their way up the rankings. And the number one team, the Elite, the trios version. That would be the World Tag Team Champion, Young Bucks, and the Continental Champion, Okada. And so, as I said, they're number one. So the World Tag Team Champion, Young Bucks, aren't listed by themselves because they didn't wrestle by themselves. And the Trios Champion, Bang Bang Gang, also didn't make the list because they didn't wrestle this week.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an odd top five, I'll tell you that. So again, that's number one, the Elite. Number two, Samoa Joe, Hook, and Shibata. Number three, Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay. Number four, the Acclaimed and Tanahashi. Number five, Jericho, Big Bill, and Jeff Cobb. And now we get to the men's top five. Number five, put on a good show, put on a very different offensive attack, and became IWGP World Champion, Tetsuya Naito, number five this week. Number four, heading back to the top five, he's been off the rankings, and he got a win over Takagi in the Owen Hart Foundation Cup. Bryan Danielson of the BCC. He spends a lot of time in the rankings, and he's one of the best in the world. Number three, down one spot from number two, Will Ospreay, the international champion. And again, he lost, but he's down just one spot because of how amazing he is and the battle he gave Swerve Strickland. He was very close to becoming the world champion himself. So Will sticks up there, sticks at number three. Number two, out of nowhere, hasn't been in the rankings or anything lately. Maybe ever for the men.
I think, yeah, for solo, this is the first time.
Yeah, but the new AEW TNT champion, Jack Perry, number two. And number one, of course, the AEW World Champion, Swerve Strickland. So that's number 1, Swerve Strickland. Number 2, Jack Perry. Number 3, Will Ospreay. Number 4, Bryan Danielson. And number 5, Tetsuya Naito. And now we have the AEW news break.
It's on the computer.
Oh,
It's the other tab.
I see. All right. The Friday, June 21st episode of Rampage averaged 328,000 viewers on TNT, down slightly from the number they did last week. Rampage finished third on the cable charts with a 0.12 rating in the 18 through 49 demo. That is the same rating as they drew last week in that category. Satnam Singh moved to the broadcast team section of the AEW roster page. I assume he's going to be on what? Broadcast to India? I'm not sure where he's from, to be honest. I think he's from India, but I don't know.
He's from India, but I don't know if he's going to be only on the broadcast to India, or if maybe he's going to be part of like the interview team that they do during like 0 hour and stuff. Maybe.
I don't know. Weird.
Yeah.
Saturday night's episode of Collision averaged 429,000 viewers on TNT, nearly identical to last week, which was 431,000. Collision finished 5th on the cable charts with a 0.14 rating in the 18 through 49 demo, and that's up 7.7% from last week. Jim Ross posted an update on X on Tuesday, noting that he has made another trip to the emergency room. Just over a month after being hospitalized due to difficulty breathing. He was doubtful for Forbidden Door, but was able to attend and call a few matches, and that was awesome to hear JR. The live gate number for May's AEW Double or Nothing in Las Vegas saw a sharp decline from last year's event. This year's show drew $582,204 at the gate, 9,099 paid tickets. Last year, the show was in the same place, and it drew $964,349 on 10,478 tickets. So a lot of more merchandise sales and about 1,000 more ticket sales for last year's Double or Nothing.
Oh, when they say gate numbers, they include merchandise sales on that?
So true. Well, when it says drew, you include it. Yeah. If it's gate numbers, no. That just means who bought the tickets.
I might have typed Drew.
Oh,
And
was it just about the gate numbers?
I thought it was just about the gate numbers.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Well,
I was.
We may have given you incorrect figures. I'm sorry. Tony Khan recently told Sports Illustrated that Shane McMahon is, quote, always welcome in AEW. I heard the rumor he might be interested. I've never met Shane, but we have a lot of mutual friends. I have a lot of respect for him as an executive and a professional wrestler. Shane is always welcome in AEW. Terrible idea, Tony. Don't get the McMahons anywhere near your company. Mm-hmm. That's my advice.
Yeah.
Keep them away. No, bad idea. Bad idea. Do you not read the fucking news? Tony Schiavone was absent for part of AEW Dynamite. Although he started the show along Taz and Excalibur, by the end of the program, he was no longer around. Someone on X asked what happened, and Schiavone revealed that he lost his voice, something he had been struggling with since the weekend. At a media call on Thursday, Tony Khan said Sunday's live gate was approaching $1 million and 10,000 tickets sold, which would be the third time in the event's young history it has hit that financial mark. To close the call, Khan made some football analogies in saying they are close uh, in the quote red zone to making their new media rights deal. So I hope so. Yeah. Um,
It's weird because later on there's an interview segment that he does with Wrestling Observer because he went on their podcast for an interview with Brian Alvarez and Dave Meltzer earlier, and like his description of where they are in the media rights deal and that I would not refer to as the red zone.
Yeah.
It sounded like farther away. But I don't know that much about football, so who knows? Although I don't know how much Tony Khan knows about football either.
Well, they do own the Jaguars, so I think
Yeah,
he knows a bit.
Does he like football? His dad owns the Jaguars. He doesn't own it.
I'm sure he likes football. In an interview with Sports Illustrated ahead of Forbidden Door, Bryan Danielson expressed that he doesn't think being a world champion is the right position for him anymore, and he doesn't believe it would be the best thing to do for his body. Danielson is 43. He has never held a championship in AEW. His last world title reign took place in WWE from 2018 through 2019 when he had that awesome wooden belt.
It's the most beautiful belt I've ever seen.
That was the coolest WWE belt. Maybe second most after the Golden Eagle.
No, this is
Yes.
the coolest belts.
See, Tony Khan went on Wrestling Observer Radio and did an in-depth interview with Brian Alvarez and Dave Meltzer. They asked him about the media rights deal in the works and AEW ratings. Tony went into detail about all the avenues he's considering a media rights deal, both here and in the UK. Uh, Regarding the numbers, Khan said we've had historically really strong numbers and maintain really strong numbers in TV. True, and that is the thing we need to do is keep going, keep doing what we're doing because the numbers we have are numbers people in TV would kill to have, and I really need to focus on doing good shows for AEW, not about what the competition is doing. I think that in this case, our competition going out ahead of us and getting good media rights deals was a positive for us, and actually is good for us because we have very good historical comps, and these comps are very favorable for us. So that's one thing I've done. A ton of market research and retained top analysts and data scientists, and I'm looking at this stuff. He went on to say most TV shows would kill for our ratings and demos, and in sports, we skew really young.
Can I tell you what I thought when I read that?
What?
That sounds like a Trump speech, doesn't it?
Like a Trump speech?
Yeah, we have the best ratings, the biggest ratings, the most ratings. People would kill for our ratings.
Kind of.
I
Kind
just
of.
thought it was so funny. Sorry.
Grand Slam is set for Arthur Ashe Stadium in Queens, New York, on Wednesday, September 25th. They will do a live Dynamite show and then record a 2-hour Collision instead of Rampage. And Beyond Wrestling has announced that Roosh will no longer be able to compete at the promotion's.
No, Rush. Leo Rush.
Oh,
Sorry.
oh, thank you.
I forgot that their names were spelled the exact same. Sorry, I would have put his first name in.
Leo Rush will no longer be able to compete at the promotion's July 4th event in Worcester, Massachusetts, due to injuries suffered on last night's pay-per-view. I'm not suffering, but man, am I in some pain. What a night. What a match. I'll be back for more. Thanks to everyone for riding with me on this journey through the Forbidden Door, he wrote.
Yeah. He went on later to say that it's like nothing that he thinks like a few ice baths won't fix. But
Yeah. Good healing to Leo Rush. He's definitely been very good since his AEW debut, so I hope he's okay. I hope we see a lot more of him. And well, that is our show for this evening. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed doing it. And
thanks to Antonio and Derek for joining us in the chat.
Yep, thank you guys very much. We love talking to people.
Yep.
We love it when you when you participate. Makes it more fun, for you, I hope, and it makes it more fun for us for sure. Because we plan the show, but you bring stuff at us that we didn't plan, so that makes it more fun thinking on our feet. I enjoy it. Um, let's see what's coming up this week. It's Monday today, so Wednesday we will have a Dynamite watch along. Starting at 7:50. It'll be here, the same place where you're watching this, on X, on Twitch, or on our YouTube page here. Um, we may do a Collision watch along. I'm not sure. Um, and I have a couple little videos I'm gonna do throughout the week. So watch our X and our YouTube for those videos. Just little short things that I'm gonna do that I think you'll enjoy. So those should come in the next couple days here.
Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any contents that you might want to see, and turn on your notifications. Hit that like button on today's video if you liked it. And yeah.
Yeah, like, subscribe. If your friends like AEW, tell your friends, tell your grandma, tell them all to listen to AEW Weekly Mondays at 6.
That'd be so awesome if your grandma was into wrestling. Your grandma was into wrestling, right?
One of them, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Derek's Wrestling Toys and Tees. Enjoyed the show. Have a good night. Thanks, guys. Yeah, thanks very much, Derek. We enjoy you participating. And, well, folks, hopefully we'll see you Wednesday for the watch along at 7:50. And as Mick Foley would say, have a nice day.
Bye.
There's a doggy.